Hello, my name is Ishaan.
Hello, my name is Pallavi,
And welcome to Politics Corner, your crash course in modern day politics on the international, national, and local stages.
Here, we pride ourselves on a moderate and unbiased approach to politics, regardless of our political affiliations, and we hope to encourage our fellow Americans to learn and care about their government.
In November this year, President Joe Biden met with China's President Xi Jinping, returning a tone of respect between the world's two largest powers. But the US intelligence force seems to be telling a different story.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back, folks. Now, the US intelligence has become surprisingly candid about this threat, and they are clearly saying China poses a national security threat unlike any the US has seen before.
On November 12, 2020, President Trump, by executive order, declared a national emergency. President Trump found that the People's Republic of China poses an extraordinary threat to United States national security, foreign policy, and economy. Now, I have heard little to no media coverage of this declaration, and I'm not sure why, because this national emergency has been in place for over a year now, and if anything, it's only getting worse. The PRC is increasingly exploiting United States capital to resource and enable the development and modernization of its military and intelligence, which will allow the PRC to directly threaten the United States homeland and the United States forces overseas.
Now, let me explain something that many Americans might not quite grasp about the separation between public and private in other countries. Here we tend to think of the military as completely removed from the civilian sector, but this is not the case in every country. In fact, in the People's Republic of China, they have something called military-civil fusion. This is a national strategy in which civilians are forced to give information to the Chinese government, in which companies are forced to give information to the Chinese government, and in which corporations are forced to fund military research and development. Here's the US Department of State to tell you a little bit more.
Xi Jinping declared at the 19th Party Congress that China seeks to develop a world-class military by 2049. Driven by advanced emerging technologies, this MCF effort seeks to ensure the development of the most technologically advanced military in the world. To get there, the CCP legally compels its citizens to share information with the Chinese government. This includes Chinese researchers residing in the United States and all over the world.
These companies, though remaining ostensibly private and civilian, directly support China's military, intelligence, and security apparatuses and aid in their development and modernization. At the same time, those companies raise capital by selling securities to the United States investors that trade on public exchanges, both here and abroad.
Now, these companies, though technically civilian, really don't need to be considered civilian in any sense. They are an arm of the Communist Party of China. So essentially, when we buy Chinese products and use Chinese services, we are contributing to their military armament. One such company is Beijing ByteDance Technology, with extremely close ties to the Chinese ministry. Now, the reason that that is concerning is because Beijing ByteDance Technology owns a little-known app, TikTok. You heard of it? Here's Senator Ted Cruz to tell you a bit more.
A quick look at TikTok's privacy policy, in fact, just last night, shows there's a lot more than meets the eyes. For example, in the, quote, how we share your information section, one blurb reads, quote, we may share all of the information we collect with a parent, subsidiary, or other affiliate of our corporate group. Interestingly, in June of this year, the privacy policy was updated to state that TikTok, quote, may collect biometric identifiers and biometric information as defined under U.S. laws, such as face prints and voice prints.
Despite backlash, President Donald Trump attempted to ban TikTok in the United States. Under the same reasons, President Trump also expanded the entity list, which is basically this giant master list of trade restrictions. I mean, say what you will, but Donald Trump recognized this issue, and come on, he actually took the steps to try to ban TikTok. from the United States. That's huge in the terms of how important is national security.
I mean, not just TikTok. Like, take Huawei, for example. Like, he took that gutsy move and said, no, we're going to go ahead and put these companies on the entity list because they pose a national security threat. And don't they? Do you really want your cell phone towers across the nation to be controlled by a company that is being controlled by the Communist Party of the People's Republic of China?
I don't.
Nobody does.
And like in reality, if they're controlling our cell phone towers, what is actually stopping them from literally tapping into our phone calls? Virtually nothing.
Exactly. So basically, what he was saying is, we don't want to give them our biometric data. We don't want them to have control over our information highways. And that's the nationalist way, and that's the to ensure the national security. But he got a lot of pushback and a lot of flack for that.
In October this year, the U.S. Senate unanimously passed the Secure Equipment Act, which prohibits the FCC from reviewing or issuing new equipment authorizations for most Chinese-made surveillance equipment. Another thing that happened in October this year, the FCC voted to revoke China Telecom's license in America over national security concerns. The FCC found that China Telecom is subject to, quote, exploitation, influence, and control by the Chinese government and is highly likely to be forced to comply with Chinese government requests without sufficient legal procedures subject to independent judicial oversight. They further added that they want to, quote, restrict the Chinese government to access, store, disrupt, and/or misroute U.S. communications.
Americans need to understand the real threat we are facing today. Complacency, burying your head in the sand are not the right strategies.
Donald Trump moved this issue to the top of the political and diplomatic bulletin. And while some liberals complain that the restrictions are too tight, what tells you that it is a problem is the fact that a completely polar opposite party president, President Biden, still refuses to remove it from the top of the bulletin. When we have bipartisanship, you know it's a legitimate issue. When it's able to unite the American people. When it's able to unite American politicians.
What we are sure of is that this is not the last we will hear about our complicated relationship with China. And you can trust us to bring you more as new developments arise.
Stay safe out there. Thank you to Mel Science for sponsoring this episode of Politics Corner.
As parents, we know we do everything possible to equip our children with the tools for success, and Mel Science can help you do just that. It is a subscription service that offers monthly science boxes which combines hands-on experiments with virtual and augmented reality technologies, which will nurture children's natural interest in science.
To learn more and get 50% off your first kit if you order within a month of this episode releasing, use the link in our description or go to melscience.com and use the promo code MODERATE at checkout. Again, that is melscience.com, promo code MODERATE, or just click the link in our description.
We want to thank you for listening to this episode of Politics Corner.
If you want to get involved in politics but don't know where to start or who to trust, then Politics Corner is perfect for you. We are a free podcast that gives you bite-sized crash courses in modern-day politics, how government affects you, and how you can get involved.
We pride ourselves on making every episode unbiased with a moderate approach, regardless of our political affiliations.
If you want to hear more from us and know whenever we release an episode, follow us on Instagram at Politics Corner Official and turn on notifications.
I'm Pallavi Sharma.
And I'm Ishaan Prasad.
And thank you for listening to Politics Corner.